cannot hear.
We cannot hear you, Val.
Val, you are muted. You must be muted.
Hello there and good afternoon. Sorry about we had a minor technicality. So I'm here to introduce you to our next session as part of the FIWARE Smart Fest. So the next session will focus on innovation hubs and how they are empowering data spaces. And as some of you may know, FIWARE Foundation has 26 iHubs across the planet, and we have iHubs in the US, in Austin, in Atlanta. We have iHubs in Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Uruguay, a lot of iHubs in Europe. And to talk to you about all that, and we have some very special guests here joining us today, representatives from our iHub in France, in Germany, in Tunisia. I would then pass on the baton to my colleague, the Vice Chairman of the FIWARE Innovation Hub Committee, Ali Brehine. Enjoy the session.
Okay. Okay. Hello. Good morning to everyone. Good afternoon. I'm not Ali, as you can see. My name is Gonzalo La Rosa. I'm the executive director of the Cities of the Future Institute. It's a FIWARE iHub from Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I'm the chair of the FIWARE iHub Mission Support Committee 2. And today's session, we are going to talk about, as the session is titled, innovation. It's all about innovation. It is turning ideas into reality, into smart solutions, and it's supporting the creation and the co-creation of new products and services for people, for citizens, for customers, and consequently making a good, a great, a meaningful impact in society and in markets. What is surely meaning to a great impact on our lives. And FIWARE Foundation is leading this worldwide process of designing and developing common frameworks to make data spaces happen. And the FIWARE iHubs will become protagonists on these revolutions. So we are going to know a little bit about FIWARE iHubs initiative and FIWARE iHubs community. Let me share my screen. And we're going to see in the agenda of this event too that we are going, as Val told us, and thank you, Val, for the presentation. We're going to have some FIWARE iHubs from our community, the ones from Tunisia, from France, and we're going to have a representative of the Big Data Value Association too. As you can see, Ali Ben Brahim, Vincent de Mortier, Ana Garcia Robles, and Pierre Gols. We're going to have a very interesting session today. According to the agenda, I'm going to introduce the FIWARE iHubs ecosystem and the FIWARE iHubs community. And then we're going to have an open dialogue of how innovation iHubs and incubators are empowering the data spaces ecosystems all around Europe. And using, and finally, we're going to see the Digital Europe program and the collaboration between all the FIWARE iHubs and their projects and initiatives using the funding of this program. So, first of all, what are the FIWARE iHubs? The FIWARE iHubs are thought or were thought to be in the center of our local ecosystems, of our local communities. They are, as it says, innovation engines for the digital economy, and we have to turn our ideas, as I said, into smart solutions. The FIWARE iHubs needs to be leading these innovation projects and initiatives all around a lot of stakeholders that could be public administrators, incubators, SMEs, and another companies and startups too. Why not large companies? We have a lot of large companies in FIWARE, as FIWARE members, and to research organizations or maybe academic organizations, universities, and why not investors too. So what we need to do as FIWARE iHubs is to impact the society and the markets, to have a multi-partner cooperation, as I said, all around these stakeholders. Also promote the open source and standard technologies, accelerate the businesses and increase their competitiveness, and optimize the exciting resources and drive local economies. So we need to foster research and we need to foster innovation, as we are always talking about in this session. We always like to say in FIWARE Foundation that we think globally, but we need to act locally. When we talk about think globally, it's because we have a global strategy and we have a worldwide community. The community is thought or created just to innovate with FIWARE technologies and have world-class events for position and this partnering. We need to boost the FIWARE adoption and make growth and strengthen our communities. And we need, or we are always looking for join to the global community and other FIWARE experts and evangelists and promoters of our projects, of our technology and our initiatives. And we need to act locally, and that is the leading meaningful of the iHubs, that we are the protagonists of our communities, of our cities, of our ecosystems. We need to find to promote the way, or to find a way to promote all the skills that our iHubs and our partnerships and stakeholders have all around these initiatives. We need to add value to the local tech and research ecosystems too. We need to innovate using a lot of technologies and innovative technologies, as we are talking about data spaces today, big data too. But we are always talking about IoT. We are always talking about blockchain, of course, and all using open source technologies as the main spirit of the FIWARE platform. And we have to act locally just to promote and boost labs of testing and certifying FIWARE solutions. Of course, all these can be made locally if we can create programs of training and coaching for all the people that is getting involved in our regions, in our cities. We are 26 FIWARE iHubs actually. They are all around the world. We have 49 in the Americas, 49 members in the Americas, and 334 members in Europe. We have 15 members in Africa and 56 members in Asia. So, and 4 in Oceania. But the importance of the FIWARE iHubs is just to talk, just to work, just to make projects, just to make collaborative spaces all around these members and all around the cities and the regions where they are working and where they are developing their projects. We are planning to have more iHubs, new locations in several parts of the world, in all the continents too. And we have 10 FIWARE lab nodes too that can work directly with the FIWARE iHubs just to help them to implement their technologies. Some of the numbers of our community, we have more than 30 FIWARE technical experts. We have more than 100 business experts. We have more than 1,600 activities realized, training activities, coaching activities, liaisons activities. The same number of entities impacted. As I said, all the stakeholders are getting involved in these initiatives, universities, public administrations, not only local, but also regional and also national public administrators, of course, private companies too. We have impacted from these stakeholders more than 15,000 people. We have carried out more than 200 events all around the world, and if we can sum all the social media followers of all our iHubs, we have more than 30,000 social media followers. So, and last but not least, we have last year, 2021, designed with all the iHubs and a strategic plan for the next 2 years. The plan has 4 issues of working. One of them is sustainability of the FIWARE iHubs. We need to make them grow individually, but collectively too. We have another issue that is about training and research and innovation promotion, and foster these activities, and just look for funding to have these research and innovation activities. We're talking about this in this session. And then we need to strengthen the FIWARE community and the FIWARE iHub community and make it grow. So there are some activities defined for this and other strategic lines. So don't miss, as it says over here, don't miss to follow us. FIWARE Foundation social media is over here, and if you need, if you have any needs of information, just don't have a doubt and contact us. Contact me for the FIWARE iHubs initiative. Contact Ali Ben Brahim, and I'm going to introduce him at this moment. Ali Ben Brahim is the co-chair of our mission support committee of the iHubs. He is originally from Tunisia. Now he's the senior engineer of Thai Trucks. That is the FIWARE iHub from Tunisia too, iHub Bridge. And he's going to lead this session, and he's a friend, of course, too. So Ali, all the session is yours. Thank you very much, and I keep here just for the end of this session.
Thank you very much, Gonzalo. And I would like also to thank you for all the support you are giving for all the community, FIWARE iHubs community. I'm welcoming here, first of all, Ana Garcia Robes, which is a very strong scale in ICT industrial and in telecommunication system, and also a very good skill in innovation management and ecosystem development. And also we have Vincent, who's taking care about our iHub DIH Faubourg Numérique, and Pierre Goltz, Chief Digital Officer of the city of Herne, and he's also taking care of our iHub in Herne. I would like to see with Pierre what would be the involvement of the iHubs in the development of the data spaces between the city and all the private company, how they can participate, how they can, let's say, develop together with the city. what would be the data who can be shared in order to enhance the development of the data spaces and all the services for the citizen, of course. Pierre?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Ali, for introduction, and welcome to our visitors. My name is Pierre Golz, and it's a pleasure for me to talk to you. As Ideas Forum, I will start on another way. As the city of Herne and the CDO, we discussed how we could improve by using digitization the life of people in the city. And we think that we have to talk to each citizen, to the companies, because we think digitization is not a marathon. It's not a sprint, but a marathon. And we have to talk to each other how we are going to develop the city. And then we created, together with FIWARE, the Ideas Forum, to let citizens and companies participate in this process by using open source and building data spaces. And we have 3 pillars for the moment. In Ideas Forum, we said we want to focus on education, on co-creational processes, and innovation. And first of all, let me talk about education. We talk to the schools. We have a gap between the knowledge we have for the moment and the knowledge we need in future, for example, in 10 years. And companies, for example, are interested in getting knowledge improved because the students of today are the employees of tomorrow. So we discussed with the companies to start a program by using, for example, FIWARE technology, NGSILD. We created a so-called LoRaWAN network and gave sensors to the schools and said, okay, you have some introductional videos. Let's try to get data from the sensors with the students in platforms by using NGSI technology. So students are going to learn that a sensor does not only produce data, but we can use it to fulfill, for example, getting information, leading processes, and getting the city smart. That's the first pillar we have. The second is that we have co-creational processes. So we are going to talk to the citizens and the companies in different events. What's your problem and how could we improve by using data or producing new data in future, your business? For example, we have several kinds of logistic companies, and they said we would like to have several kinds of data of the city to improve our processes and in the end to protect environment. This is one of the aim of the city, to protect resources and to protect climate. And if we are going to share data with logistics companies and other, they can improve their processes to increase to increase environment protection. But that's an ongoing process. We are going to talk to several other companies. And the third pillar is sometimes you have not a solution for the moment. So you need to talk to universities to get innovation processes with the companies and the citizens to develop new solutions. That's the third pillar of Ideas Forum. So we talk to universities and other companies to improve knowledge and get new solutions for several kinds of problems. To save water, for example, in combination of rain data, of weather data, of mobility data, so we can make offers to the citizens. I think that's the three most important points for the moment.
Yes, you are explaining here, in fact, the wisdom pyramid. The wisdom pyramid is starting from the data, how to build the information and to validate information, and from the information, how to build the knowledge, and from the knowledge, it's a spread and exchanged knowledge. We can use this knowledge in order to, let's say, achieve a certain wisdom. And in fact, this can be achieved and you are explaining here, Pierre, this can be achieved in only in a multi-stakeholder collaboration and working between the public and the private and the university and the researcher and so on. And this pushed me to ask Anna and Vincent why the multi-stakeholder collaboration is really needed and how it is needed to support this approach.
Okay, Vincent, will you start or shall I start?
Yeah, okay. Maybe to try to answer from the local perspective. Well, it's as Gonzalo explained, it's really our, let's say, core business as local FIWARE hub to federate all the local stakeholders and to deliver the value of the global network. Of course, we are part of an open source software community, so the base is the technology, I would say. But then the real added value is to convert these global resources. For instance, in the sector of the smart city, we have, of course, the FIWARE implementation, and we can also leverage all the tools provided by the Living in EU initiatives, of course, the MIMS, the minimum interoperable mechanisms that are very useful, and we have to I would say localized all these resources to federate the local stakeholders to really stick to the challenges of the local customer, the local client, or the local policymakers, and this task is really for this task at local level. It's really important, of course, to have a very good knowledge of the local reality, and it leads to have a lot of contact and a lot of communication with all the local stakeholders, private, as you said, academic, and also, of course, the local governments. And I think we have among the FIWARE iHubs, we have reached this first level of maturity, I would say, because now we have several years. We celebrate the 5 years of the FIWARE Foundation, but it's more or less the same for the FIWARE iHub, even if it was not yet structured 5 years ago, but we started almost at the same time. So I think we have a certain level of efficiency and maturity at local level. And now the challenge is also maybe to change a little bit the paradigm, also think locally to act at a more global level with the strength of the FIWARE iHub network, but also with more even extended network with other community, also with the help, for instance, of the DSBA Alliance. And probably Anna has more relevant things to say about that.
Thank you very much, Vincent and Ali, and really it's a pleasure to be here today with you. I think I'm a bit the outsider in this panel, as I'm not representing the iHubs, but a collaboration that we are doing with the iHubs. So allow me to explain first, because representing the Big Data Value Association, we also have hubs that are called iSpaces. So I will also explain just very quickly the concept of our iSpaces, the collaboration between them, and then, as Vincent said, this larger kind of joint mission or that we are building together. So to start with what we call iSpaces, so you call them iHubs, FIWARE iHubs, we call them VDVA iSpaces. There are many similarities, but also a lot of differences. So for us, and the whole concept started with the concept of trusted data incubators. So the trusted comes because it's mainly ecosystems that are created around data infrastructure that is secure, and then the possibility to share data, so to have a place where to share data, mainly to accelerate and take up data-driven innovation in the territory, so to speak. So it really serves to many different sectors, commercial and also non-commercial, and it has also with similarities expectations of creating value, economical, mainly to SMEs in the region, also societal, and also it has aspects of environmental value as well. So as I said, they are built around data and data sharing for both closed data, so they need to really have a lot of secure mechanisms to sharing business data and also public sources. The interesting part, here we have a lot of similarities around this kind of data bubble. There are many different dimensions that the iSpaces cover. Is the aspect of technology, of course, and data in general, application domains, as I said, support to business, but also the aspect of legal, because we know legal data comes together with legal. And talking about data spaces, the whole new regulation, Data Governance Act, Data Act, will come a lot of aspects in really affecting the companies working with data, but also data spaces in general. Skills is super important. And of course, societal aspects as well. At the moment, there are 36 hubs it's mainly Europe that we cover in 21 countries and covering 35 regions. And the way we somehow say this is a BDBA iSpace is because we have well-defined labeling systems. So to become a hub, you need to go through quite a strict labeling process that we really measure aspects from infrastructure, services, applications, impact, and also aspects of business strategy. So also following the story that Vincent has said, we of course, these are local, more territorial, local or regional. And years back already, these hubs or iSpaces started to collaborate together, networking. And after a few years, they realized that they were mature enough to build a federation. So already 1.5 years ago, we started a federation of iSpaces that is mainly being implemented by a project called iHubs for Data. And thanks to this project now, these iSpaces collaborate to the level that they have a common catalog of data sets and also of data services. And among those services, there are different services. It can be really technical services, so AI mechanisms, AI algorithms, or access to infrastructure. But also there are many things related to business development. And this is cross-border. This is really to connect communities, to make sure that we go from the local to in our case, unfortunately not global yet, but European level. And we have a lot of experiments running now where actually SMEs from one country benefit from a combination of services provided by different iSpaces that are, as I'm saying, they are being federated at the moment and already offering these federated services. As Vincent say, and that's the part that I'm going to elaborate, we are now, because data spaces is becoming such a key topic now to develop the overall data ecosystems. So we are joining forces between different communities, FIWARE, Big Data Value Association, GaiaX, and IDSA, and this is a starting point. Others for sure will join in this alliance that we call Data Spaces Business Alliance. And we have identified together that the hubs, because the 4 organizations have hubs with different identities. The iHubs, you have explained, and they have a very, very, very specific identity, ours as well, the GaiaX hubs as well. But we are now joining forces. We are producing first a landscape I think we are close to 100 hubs altogether, which is quite impressive, but also the amount of countries and places that we cover is quite impressive. And we are just describing these hubs to start seeing how we can collaborate together. So I think this is a very, very important step forward, and little by little it will take us to really to bring ecosystems together and to, I think, build very, very good things for the future. And definitely this collaboration between all these hubs is a very important point for the development and deployment of data spaces.
Yes, I completely agree with you, Anna. Today, what I know with FIWARE ecosystem, with FIWARE catalog, the technical part give everything in order to build and deploy and let's say have this open innovation. I think we are coming to new concept of open innovation in a multi-participant, multi-scale part. So this is great. This time is very, very great because it's the time now to, let's say, talk together. Now due to COVID and with these let's say acceleration with the remote access, acceleration of the remote work groups, acceleration of the remote trainings allow us to make things. It seems that we could not make it 2 years or 3 years ago. And that's why we should look all together. What do we have as skills? What kind? How we can be complementary? How we can build communities? How we can develop data spaces to offer better living, better services to the community? What do you think, Anna?
Well, that's the question, I think. I think it's a difficult question, but a good question, because I mean, with data spaces bring a complete transformation, okay, really in the way of thinking of organizations, of individuals, because that means that we all jump into a trusted data sharing ecosystem. And so that requires a lot of new ways of thinking, but also a lot of new skills. And I have to say, these skills you were mentioning before, one of the colleagues were mentioning before, I think it was Pierre, about, or I don't remember whether it was Pierre or it was before, that yeah, we need to train people on all these aspects for the future, but also, for instance, current organizations that are now in the market, they need to enter in the data space. They need to first do a lot of internal changes. So there is a transformation. You need to become a bit data-driven internally before becoming data-driven and start sharing your data. So it's not only about the technical aspect of how you prepare your data, how you label, but actually it's just how I build my business in a, how I develop, or what is my role in a value chain of data-driven value chain, in which moments is good to share, in which moments I need data for others. So there is a lot of skills to develop there to transform the organization, to make sure that the organization is technically ready and business ready to connect to this ecosystem. So that's a strong part to also, we need to offer that. I think with the hubs, with the iHubs and the iSpaces, we offer a lot of experimentation possibilities before you join all these ecosystems. But then I think there are many other parts, like we were talking about legal aspects of compliance. We are going to need a lot of education as well in relation to compliance with all the new data regulations, and also new standards that will come mainly linked to all these new regulations of data and AI that are going to influence the data a lot. So I think I'm covering more the aspects of skills, and I'm sure some of the other colleagues in the panel can also maybe comment on some of the questions that you asked, because it was quite a fundamental question.
Yes.
If I'm allowed, I would like to add 1 or 2 sentences, Ali.
Yeah, sure, Pierre.
I think it's the most important thing is the mindset of society. So we have to change it, and it's a long way. We need to discuss with the people what's the benefit of sharing data, as Anna said, and if we want to create data spaces, we have to change the mind of society in Europe. And I think the iHubs are a very important organization and network to fulfill those aims. It's a decentralized structure, but the benefit there is we can talk to each other in the iHub network if they have any kind of knowledge in those processes, if there are problems, and then we can share ideas, we can share processes, solutions, and I think that's one of the most important points.
Yeah, I was going to say that even the coordination and the governance of all this ecosystem, we have to innovate in this coordination. We have to find a new, let's say, methodology, new way to coordinate, and new way to let's say have rules. It is a lot of time consuming trying to coordinate and try to, let's say, make people join in the work groups. But we have also all these digital European programs that can help us a lot and give us, let's say, money to let's say try to work on these fields, and that's why with Vincent we are trying to coordinate in order to regroup iHubs in order to go into this digital European program. So Vincent, do you want me to share my screen or do you want to share yours?
Well, I can share my screen, but I would like just to react to what has been said before, especially about the mindset. I love this idea that we have to change our mindset. And also from here, from our experience, as we are an association of entrepreneurs, so we have more an entrepreneurial mindset. And the key word that is very important, I think, for all of us is trust. If you want to share things, you have to trust in yourself and in your project, and you have to trust your associate or your partners. And also, by the way, it's the occasion also it's the opportunity also to mention iFortress. This is a very important project, also to both allow the SMEs and the entrepreneurs to start to change their mindset and to invent, as you said, Ali, new business models based on data sharing, but also to strengthen the impact of the DIH, because that's also the interesting part in this project, to mix DIH, so iHub or iSpaces, and support and the supported SMEs and entrepreneurs. So that was just my point about this very important keyword that is trust, and also including the technical tools to reinforce this trust.
Yes.
So, I'm going to share my screen now. Sorry for that.
Okay, but in fact, one of the first steps is to have more visibility on how is in the ecosystem and what are the skills that they have, so we can exchange. So we need this visibility, how to build it, and how to make it happen.
Yeah, and this also linked to local capacity building, to have this mindset or this culture of sharing, introducing this concept of trust. Very relevant, I think. So just to make the transition with what you said, to implement all what we have discussed before, we have this great incentive and opportunity through the Digital Europe that will provide some European fundings to support this dynamic, and especially I guess most of you are aware that a first wave of calls have been published, especially focusing on the preparatory action to set up the data spaces. So it's on this right part of the screen. So just to really understand, we are talking about the preparatory phase. It means that there will be very other second waves, other waves of support to really implement these data spaces. And the way it's structured currently, it's by, let's say, domain or sector. And again, what we have discussed within the community at the FIWARE level, but also probably at the DSBA, the alliance presented by Anna, it's really an incentive and an opportunity for our local iHub to try and to invent what Ali described before, new ways and new rules to build a shared and more global governance to reinforce the local impact of our activities. So that's why we have started, and we would like to share with you today this tentative to set up a coordinated effort among the FIWARE iHubs and the partners to set up and to invent this coordinated and federated effort to improve and to reach a next level of maturity. And of course, as you said, Ali, the big challenge is to define the governance. And it's important, as we are a very heterogeneous network, to find really the good way to have fair and transparent rules that really to reinforce the individual iHubs, but also the global network, and finally the global impact of the digital transformation and the environmental transformation. And of course, that's, I said before, it's really, I think, the biggest strategic step towards the next level of maturity for our individual iHubs, but also and mostly for our networks. So we have started, maybe I will not go through the details, but we have started to try to define some basic rules and basic steps to try to structure this approach. And of course, again, regarding this local impact and local entities that we are, it's interesting to start thinking about let's say, the main domain of interest at the local level. Regarding local policies, if we are talking about local governments, regarding the industry maturity, if we are talking about a private sector, and really to try to identify at local level what are the main domains of interest for each member of the network. And then from this, let's say, self-assessment, it's the basis to try to federate the entities having the same, let's say, priorities or focus, to try to envisage to mutualize the efforts, or even to mutualize existing resources to gain and to obtain a better impact. And finally, also, it's important to have this dynamic in the initiated network and constantly adapt the topology, I would say, of the relationships. So that's currently our thoughts that we have started initiated in the community. And as Ali also mentioned, there is also this very important incentive from the European Commission with the European Digital Innovation Hub, with a more, let's say, wide domains. We are not talking only about data spaces, but this focus on data spaces, I think, could be a good start, because again, the main topic is how we can share resources. That's
concerning management and concerning governance. We need to have altogether a cell that will be have like if you can keep the last slide.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we should have a surveillance of the potential calls. What kind of calls should be interested by the ecosystem, and let's say share it to the ecosystem, and have the feedback. So, if we are let's say more than 20 iHubs plus all the other let's say interested parties. So we have we should have a communication layer. We should have let's say a professional community management in order to share all these kind of information. And then we also should have a matrix scale of competencies and some specificities that needs for the call and how to answer altogether. So as we already now have a worldwide coverage, so we would probably cover all the continent very in the next 2 years. So we should also have lobbying competencies. So we can reach any expert, any professional to have the point of view and the informations. We already have these vertical skills in agriculture, in environment, in industry, and we I think covering now all the different skills needed now to answer to the calls, and also all the technical ICT transversal skills already have now. We should also know how to write the proposal. This is a specific skill to write the proposal in a good and well. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 hubs having the same skills or are in the same region. So these 2 can, let's say, coordinate and share and say, okay, we'll take this part, you will take this part on the same scale. That means that we also need some, let's say, regulation, and we have to trust each other, as was Vincent saying. So with the time, with the experience, this will make this ecosystem to cover all the sector, and so we can all together can answer to almost all the calls. Thank you for sharing the presentation, and this is in fact the view we are having, and this is also the strategic point of view that we are trying to build, Gonzalo and I, in order to, let's say, have all this ecosystem and have to this perennity and sovereignty system in order to move all together. So I give you the word to conclude, Gonzalo, and thank you very much. If any question and any points, we are all here to answer. Gonzalo, you're muted. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ali. We have talked about trusted communities. We have talked about open standards, sharing data for creating value, and experiment with this data. Just about legal aspect, regulations, compliance. We talk about this too, and skills are very important. As said Ali recently, we need to have training activities. We need to have pilot projects. Then we talk about 4 international organizations, as Anna told us, that created an alliance. FIWARE Foundation is one of them, for the boost of open innovation and to collaborate for the development and the deployment of data spaces, because we really think that the only way that we can make these things happen is in a collaborative way. But not only institutions and organizations, also the entire society. That we talk about the mindset of society. So we need to make it visible, and we need to show what we are doing and our results and our successes and achievements too. By the end of this presentation, we have seen the initiatives to promote and create data spaces on some verticals like smart communities, mobility, Green Deal, manufacturing, using FIWARE technologies with the boost of FIWARE iHubs and some organizations, and the co-creation of ecosystems. Even with the support and funding of the European community programs. So I think we can all get involved, and we can be encouraged to be part of this not only of this FIWARE community, of the FIWARE iHubs community, and let's work together to create all these data spaces and start showing and make it visible for all the society. So thank you very much for being on this session. Thank you, Ali, Vincent, Pierre, Anna. Of course, I want to thank Angeles, who worked pretty hard on all this. Val, Cristina, Juanjo, of course, too, from the FIWARE Foundation, and all of you to being over there listening to us and just letting us be part of this FIWARE Smart Fest. So I invite you to go on with the other sessions. And
before Gonzalo, is Anna? Do you wanna conclude with something?
You want to say, Anna? You wanted to say something?
No. I think your conclusion was so good about this multi-stakeholder collaboration and this mindset change that I think is all set. Nothing, just to thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we invite you if you have. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Anna. Pierre, Vincent.
Thank you very much.
We have been.
Bye-bye.
We have a lot of sessions just organizing this. So thank you very much. You are all invited to go on with the FIWARE Smart Fest. And if you have any doubts on this about this, you can write us in the chat or by email. So thank you very much. See you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.